My name is Dave Kaiser from CCX Media. Happy to be here today to do some MC work, introduce some of our speakers today, and our very special Minnesota Teacher of the Year. I do have a few housekeeping notes. First of all, if any of the teachers, like students might, snuck in the back door towards the end of our start time here, they have goodie bags for you over on this side. So if you go out this door and right around the corner, make sure you do that after the event to pick up a bag for each of the teachers this morning. Again, my name is Dave Kaiser from CCX Media. We're a proud partner of the North Hennepin Area Chamber of Commerce, and I have been involved in the Business Education Partnership Committee of the Chamber for a number of years. So certainly see the value of tying education and business and the community together. So thank you for coming. Welcome, teachers. I know you're in store for a great day today and also a great year. CCX Media commits to covering schools on a regular basis. We have put together some programs over recent years, school spotlights. So many of you maybe had a chance to see a school spotlight about the school you'll be going into in Brooklyn Center or Osseo area schools. And also standout students, another commitment we have to education where we look to cover students, especially in high school for the standout students, that are doing great things in the area, and not just athletics, but academics, volunteering, commitment back to the community. So congratulations to you as teachers for being a part of that, and we hope to see you, your smiling faces, and some of your students on TV. We have a number of speakers this morning before we get to our main speaker, and first comes from our presenting sponsor of this new teacher welcome, and that business is Boston Scientific. You see their name here and up on the screen behind me. Boston Scientific, located nearby in Maple Grove, certainly has a commitment to education and creating opportunity that is well known here and throughout the world. We're fortunate to have their support for this event, and one of Boston Scientific's senior staff members is here with a message for you that has a real homegrown tie to education. Please join me in welcoming Vice President of Regulatory Affairs, Rich Dumovic from Boston Scientific.
So on behalf of Boston Scientific, the broader Minnesota business community, and the North Hennepin Area Chamber of Commerce, I want to thank you for the decision that you made, many of you, many years ago, to enter this most important field of education. My mother was a high school teacher in Chicago up to the day that she retired when she was 70 years old. Mom is always teaching, gathering the lessons that she observes around her and trying to relate them on a personal level to all that she meets. The investment that I saw her make in her students, particularly those that were abandoned by many in the ecosystem that she operated in, motivated in a very special way that was uniquely my mom. She did not give up on anyone, and teaching to her was more of a way of life than it was a job. Both of my in-laws are educators. My brother is a teacher. My wife is a teacher. I'm surrounded by teachers. I get it. Yours is a calling. It's not just a job. Thank you very much. We as the business community want to say thank you for the investment that you are making in our community and for the future of our state. We like to think that Minnesota is a pretty special place. My family and I lived in 7 different states when I was in the military and we were moving around. When we got the chance to select where we were going to settle, we settled here. This state's vibrant and diverse economy and the quality of life rest soundly on a consistently superb educational foundation. That's a ranking that Minnesota teachers earn for us every year. You attract families that place education high on their list of priorities and help this community be what it is today. Your students are the talent base that in just a few short years are going to be employed by Boston Scientific and other organizations across our state. Our very future rests on you and your fellow educators. In this journey, we want you to know that you're not alone. Boston Scientific and the Chamber and other companies and organizations recognize that this responsibility cannot fall on a select few. We are your partners in every sense of the word. We invest time, resources, and talented employees to bring the concepts of science, technology, engineering, and math to life in multiple classrooms across the region. Building enthusiasm and awareness for these opportunities is critical to our ability to bring life-saving technology to patients around the world. We need tomorrow's inventors, engineers, builders, and we want to partner with you to help make those dreams come to life. So many students self-select out of the STEM career fields at a very early age, convincing themselves that it's not for them or they just can't do it. We, alongside with you, want to encourage them to pursue whatever interests them. If they put in the effort, great opportunities can result. We, as stakeholders in the region, need your students' innovation and creativity as they become the leaders of tomorrow. Thank you for selecting education. Thank you for selecting our schools to serve in. And thank you for bringing your unique energy and your talents to the classroom. There is no position that is more influential to the future of our state. I'd like to thank Steve Erickson, Dave Kaiser for their investments in education of our future workforce, and to Kelly Holstine, who, for the example that she has set, is going to really set a great stage for you as you launch your career. What a blessing it is to have someone caring that deeply about our students. Congratulations to all of you about launching your career here in this community. We are thrilled to have you. And now I'd like to introduce Kim Riesgraff, the interim superintendent for the Osseo area schools.
Good morning and welcome from Osseo Area Schools. I'm Kim Riesgraff and I'm the interim superintendent for Osseo Area Schools, where I spent almost 30 years of my career before I retired 2 years ago. I've been a teacher, I've been a site administrator, a director of student services, and when I retired I was an assistant superintendent. It's the beginning of the school year, and I have the privilege of welcoming you as we look forward to a new year. Whether you're beginning your first teaching job or you're an experienced teacher coming to a new school district, you're joining a district, whether it's Brooklyn Center or Osseo, that serves a rich and diverse community. By joining our faculty, you have the opportunity to embrace student, racial, and socioeconomic diversity, help our students reach toward their goals and dreams, and to work with others in enhancing the educational outcomes for our students. Your energy for learning, students, and their passions will make you a wonderful educator. You have the opportunity to make a difference in the lives of our students and to the field of education, the greatest profession of all. After all, none of us would be here if it wasn't for a teacher. Each of our school districts, Brooklyn Center and Osseo, has a mission. We declare publicly our goals for the future, and we hope to achieve what we hope to achieve for our students in order to fulfill our organization's purpose. Osseo Area Schools is an award-winning school system, and our mission is to inspire and prepare all students with the confidence, courage, and competence to achieve their dreams, contribute to the community, and engage in a lifetime of learning. Our district serves approximately 21,000 students pre-kindergarten through grade 12, and in Osseo, we're going somewhere. Our staff have rallied around a common mission. We're responsible for every student that comes to us, and we have a strategic plan of action to communicate the things we're doing well and to improve the things that we know we can do better. We're listening to and engaging our staff and our community members. As teachers, you have an opportunity to participate in our District Planning Advisory Council and other programmatic advisory committees. And we're getting results. In general, Osseo's demographic averages are very similar to our state averages, and so not surprisingly, our scores in terms of test results is about the same as the state averages, and we're analyzing our 2018 results right now. We celebrate where we're seeing successes, and we're mindful of the areas where we still need to improve. You, as teacher leaders, are the key to our school district's success in accomplishing our mission to inspire and prepare all learners with the confidence, courage, and competence to achieve their dreams, contribute to community, and engage in a lifetime of learning. Your voice is critical. Speak with your colleagues, learn from them, listen to them, and keep growing as a learner and a model that you believe in lifelong learning. Welcome to a new school year. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Riesgraff. And again, if you'd like to connect with her from a school background level, I can mention that she has a doctorate degree from the University of Minnesota, go Gophers, correct? And a master's degree from the University of Wisconsin-Eau Claire. If I knew their nickname, I'd say go them as well. Blue Golds, Blue Golds in the crowd here. Just real quickly, wanted to check. Osseo new teachers, raise your hand if you would real quick. Osseo teachers, all right. Brooklyn Center new teachers, raise your hands. They're spread throughout. How about those involved with the North Hennepin Area Chamber of Commerce? I know there's a lot of you. If you're involved with the chamber, raise your hand. Those might be people you want to connect with as well, teachers, because again, the North Hennepin Chamber has quite a connection with the school districts. You see that today with this event and also Boston Scientific. Thank you, Rich. But you'll see it throughout the year through other events that the chamber has. So stay in touch with the chamber, with Steve and Bonnie, and all that they do in this area. Our next guest is Superintendent of Brooklyn Center Area Schools, Brooklyn Center Community School District 286. Her roles in education include IB Coordinator at Osseo Area Schools, so there's a continuing connection here, Assistant Principal at North Community High School, Assistant Principal at Edison High School, and Principal at Brooklyn Center High School. She holds a doctorate in education from the University of Minnesota as well. They're chatting back and forth here about Gopher Days. A Master of Arts in English Literature from the University of St. Thomas and a Master's in Education from the University of Minnesota. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Carly Baker.
Good morning. Good morning. I'm a teacher, so I don't really roll well with the microphone, so we'll see how we do. When I met Brooklyn Center new teachers over the last 2 new employee orientations, I started out by saying, our mission in Brooklyn Center Community Schools is to equip every student, say every student, with the knowledge, life skills, and global perspectives to contribute to society and respond to the needs of an ever-changing world. And I told you a little bit about the rule of 7. Pouring. On average, we need to hear and be exposed to things 7 times before we internalize them. And my commitment to you is that over the course of this next week, new teachers in Brooklyn Center, you will hear our mission 7 times. You've already heard it from me. This is number 3. So we live and breathe our mission in Brooklyn Center. Dave spoke about the fact that I started my career in the Osseo area schools. I started out in room 308 at Osseo High School before I moved on to teach at Park Center, where I left the classroom and was called to teacher leadership. There is a spectrum and a trajectory for every single one of you in this room. And if you are joining the Osseo schools or the Brooklyn Center schools from a place as a brand new teacher, or if you are continuing your career with us, welcome, welcome, welcome. And thank you for investing in our community. Thank you for investing in our children. Teaching is the most honorable profession in the world. And I don't just say that because I'm a teacher. I truly believe that. We have the opportunity to wake up every day and interact with young people who we help to shape the way that they see the world. That is both a burden of responsibility for you to carry, and it is the best blessing that there's out there. And I want to say, too, that I know that not everyone in this room is a classroom teacher. Some of you are counselors. Some of you are social workers. Some of you are moving into teacher leadership positions even as we speak. And I want to say that every single one of your roles is vital to the success of our young people. We have a long way to go. Our students deserve to be exposed to challenge and inspiration and rigor every day. They deserve to see themselves in both the curricular materials, the conversations, and the classroom environments in every one of our spaces. So I believe that each one of you is well equipped to do that. How many of you slept last night? Welcome, again. I want you to turn to someone next to you, and I want you to do two things. Say good morning to them, and then share with them one thing that you are super excited about and one thing that you might have a slight sense of terror about. Go ahead. 279 and 286. When I say bring it, you say back. Bring it. Bring it. Bring it. Thank you. Now, every new staff member who is joining our districts for the first time, I would like for you to repeat after me. I will greet every one of my students with a smile.
I will greet every one of my students with a smile.
I am the best prepared person on the planet. I realize that I will never sleep a Sunday night again. But I got this. Welcome. I look forward to getting to know all of my new staff throughout the school year, and Osseo teachers, you are joining an amazing district. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Baker. You thought the sound of the rain was loud. You should have heard you when you were talking about things that excite you, or was it the terror part that got you going? It got loud in here. It got very loud in here. And I know Dr. Baker has to leave in just a few moments as well. She is hiring additional staff for the district too, so the job never ends for the superintendents. Thank you both for being here and helping us out this morning. It's now time for our keynote speaker this morning. Kelly Holstine, an English teacher at Takata Learning Center in Shakopee, is the 2018 Minnesota Teacher of the Year. Holstine is the 54th recipient of this prestigious award and the first from the Shakopee School District. A little bit about her school. Takata Learning Center is an alternative high school that serves students in grades 9 through 12 in the Shakopee District and surrounding areas. Holstine has taught at Takata since 2012, has been teaching in Minnesota since 2007. She holds a bachelor's degree from the University of Massachusetts and a master's degree from Augsburg College. Please join me in welcoming Minnesota Teacher of the Year, Kelly Holstine.
Good morning. I need a second to get my tech going, so if you could talk amongst yourselves just for a second. get this going. I'm used to Macs, so we'll see if I can make this work. I made a Prezi for you. I wasn't going to, and then I went to some presentations this summer, and I realized that when there wasn't a visual, it wasn't nearly as engaging for my brain. So I'm hoping this helps a little bit. All right, so I want to say hello. Brooklyn Park and Brooklyn Center, Maple Grove, Osseo. Thank you to North Hennepin Chamber of Commerce for inviting me to spend time with you today. I've been a teacher in 3 different districts, and I have to say, I have never had the red carpet thrown out for me like you guys are today. So I'm very impressed. I think maybe we got like a muffin, but this is pretty impressive. My wife Emma and I volunteer with animal rescue. Every time a new dog arrives from a puppy mill, I always get a little nervous. I know a few details about their history, but not everything. I don't know what their struggles are, and I don't know if I'll be able to help them to be happy and confident dogs. But I do know that they have no idea how to be an actual dog yet. They have not played with toys, and many have never seen grass. They don't understand that all pottying should be done outside, and that snuggling with blankets on the couch is pretty cool. And they're not sure if they can trust humans because they were treated like a commodity, without feelings or needs. Every single one of them just wants to feel like he or she matters. That is the constant, and that is what gives me courage for the unknown. The first day of the school feels similar to me, except times about 100. You would think after 11 years of teaching that I wouldn't get nervous anymore. I was just talking to this table about how every time I see the back to school commercials, my anxiety goes through the roof. I think it's cruel that they start those in July. It's not okay. I don't know the stories and the needs and the struggles of all the students yet. I don't know if they trust adults. I don't know how they've been treated or how they feel about learning. And I'm unaware of the elements of their lives outside of school that impact everything they do. But I do know that every single kid wants to feel like he or she matters. And I forgot the Prezi, first day of school. There we go. We adopted our dog Floyd Henry, after he spent 10 years in an outside cage at a puppy mill. We picked a senior dog because they have a more difficult time finding homes, and we wanted to give him a good life for the rest of the time that he has left on this planet. We're trying to undo some of the harm that other humans have caused him. He's toothless now, because all of his teeth rotted from neglectful treatment. He struggles with consistently remembering to go potty outside. And when it storms, he just starts climbing because it's how he survived when his outside cage was filling up with water. But he loves bananas and blueberries and peanut butter. He loves to have his ears rubbed. He doesn't cower anymore when we come near him. He sleeps in between my wife and my pillows every night, and he hops like a bunny when we're filling his food dish. We got a new student at our school who I'll call Olivia a couple years ago. She hid behind her bangs and had difficulty looking at anyone. She didn't really know how to talk to other people without making them feel judged. Her mom had recently killed herself. And after being rejected by the rest of her extended family, her 20-year-old sister said that she'd be her guardian. Olivia was lonely and heartbroken. She desperately wanted to connect with other humans, but she had no clue how to do this. She had been given a variety of mental health diagnoses, but she had no idea what they meant or what to do with them. Our staff at Takata Learning Center uses restorative practices and personalized learning to empower students. Olivia slowly started to trust other humans, and she became more confident. She joined our leadership group, built connections, ran the school store, became my teaching assistant, and ran our online literary magazine. We discovered that she loves Grey's Anatomy religiously. She'd text me while she was watching it. Dogs and hamsters, helping other students, and writing poetry, and that she's brilliant and creative. Olivia graduated last year without bangs over her eyes and with a gigantic smile on her face. She held a golden rose that contained some of her mom's ashes because she wanted her to be a part of the day. Olivia's thriving at her new job and is starting a new school this fall. She beautifully represents every single one of our students who is unaware of his or her gifts and has not always been given the safe support to challenge his or her flaws. And they all have learned what it can do for your self-esteem when you feel like you matter. At Takata Learning Center, we prioritize the magic of authentic relationships, and this has made all the difference. Every kid matters, and you matter too. Every single heart matters. And I know this sounds cheesy, and I'm okay with that. You have permission to roll your eyes right now if you need to. It's okay, but it's what I believe. It doesn't mean that people don't drive me nuts sometimes. They do. But saying this one sentence to myself helps me have compassion for others. And as much as teaching can feel like a solo activity, we do better and are better for our kids when we work together. Teaching is intense and exciting and painful and terrifying. Has anyone ever felt like this at the end of a day? Help, please help me. We're tasked with growing young humans into loving, informed, and capable adults. Our personal needs are often secondary, which is why it can often feel like we are in a codependent relationship with our careers. And on top of all that, many of us suffer from vicarious trauma, because learning about the struggles our young people are enduring takes a toll on us. It is extremely difficult to value the needs of others if we don't feel like our needs matter too. And if we don't feel like we matter, then our stuff comes out sideways onto other people, including our students. Equity is finding out what every human needs and getting it for them when possible. It is an ongoing and dynamic process, and it benefits everyone. If we believe that we matter, if our strengths are recognized, if our flaws are met with compassion and growth mindsets, if our mental health is supported, and if our unique quirks are celebrated, then we can improve as humans and better meet the needs of our students. And then we can also start to hold up the mirrors for each other in order to gently challenge our blind spots. Our kids deserve this from us. And that is where courageous connections come into play. Courageous connections make kids feel like they matter. This means connecting with ourselves by diving into our own murk to discover our areas of improvement, pushing ourselves to more authentically connect with others, learning how to eliminate our perspective gaps, modeling healthy relationships, creating opportunities for students to see themselves in their curriculum, giving students voice and choice, and inviting students to participate in restorative practices so that they can feel more connected to their education. Our students need us to be their advocates, and I believe that all our kids are all our kids. But you can't do any of this without vulnerability. It's a scary word, but it's a requirement for connection. There's no way around it. You can feel the impact of that word in your body. Some of you are getting sweaty palms and increased heart rates. Maybe you stop breathing for a second, and perhaps you want to crawl into your seat and make a run for it. I promise I will not make any of you do a trust fall. This concept terrifies most of us as adults, yet we expect younger humans with undeveloped brains to live in it every day and still be able to learn. Our students walk into our classrooms with their stories on their sleeves. We often know their socioeconomic status, their behavior history, their previous grades, their testing scores. We know how much they owe in their lunch accounts and what learning blocks they struggle with. We might even know a little bit about their home lives. We don't ask them to be vulnerable, we demand it. And then we expect them to show up every day, trust us, follow our rules, learn, and do what we ask of them. That's a big ask. Especially if they have mental health issues, learning disabilities, histories of abuse, trust issues, PTSD, brains impacted by trauma, high ACEs scores, or social anxiety. Or they're stressed out about performing well in extracurricular activity, worried they won't get into the colleges of their choice, or that they might disappoint their families. Or maybe they're different in some way that makes life extra challenging for them. All of this matters. I am not suggesting that you tell your students all of your woes. I'm a big supporter of having boundaries. But when we share appropriate details that reveal our statuses as human beings with our students, the impact is powerful. I don't really get, nor do I agree with the educational cultural norm that we should not let students know who we truly are. I believe it's possible to share your thoughts, feelings, values, and beliefs in a healthy manner, especially if the goal is to connect and if you create an environment where all ideas are welcome. The benefits of modeling how to interact with people who have similar and different viewpoints are substantial. I totally dig that you're nodding with me right now. I want you to know that's helping. Robert M. Hutchins believes that education is not to reform students or amuse them or make them expert technicians. It is to unsettle their minds, widen their horizons. Uh-oh. We'll see how this goes. It is to unsettle their minds, widen their horizons, and inflame their intellects. If this is the case, then we as educators, we're an integral part of our students' curriculum. But allowing others to see us is scary. I get this, so I'll go first. I was a tomboy as a kid. I know that's shocking to all of you. This is my grandpa and I had my little baseball hat. I had some support, but I also had to deal with people's fear of the unknown. And I grew up in a small town, so I stood out significantly. And this often came out as hatred and rage in both words and actions. The classroom was my safe zone. I had some amazing teachers who made me feel like I mattered. Here's my senior picture. Are you ready? That's me, for real. 26 years ago. I wasn't allowed to be a tomboy anymore when I entered high school. I had to be in what I call feminine drag. And I tried really hard to be what my family wanted me to be, but I never stopped feeling inauthentic, lonely, and miserable. And this hair took a lot of effort. I had to wake up every morning, and it was a lot of work. As a result of my childhood, I developed an attachment disorder and had high levels of anxiety. Because of my low self-worth and my comfort with sacrificing my own needs, I used to choose relationships that were unhealthy and codependent. And this impacted my students and the staff in ways that embarrassed me. Because what you do outside of your school day has a way of creeping under your classroom door. I worked in social work before I became a teacher. I knew I needed to switch careers when I started to keep a baseball bat next to my bed. It was time to have more of a balance. I wanted to celebrate successes in addition to supporting struggles. And the teaching profession had called to me for a while, but I'd always been worried about being a non-gender conforming out lesbian teacher. And believe me, this has not always been easy. I have been hit both emotionally and physically with daggers of homophobia and gender discrimination in the halls of our schools and in the outside world. But it's worth it, because my experiences have helped me to support and advocate for students who do not feel accepted, valued, and or seen. And being named the first out GLBT Minnesota State Teacher of the Year gives me hope that maybe our culture is starting to change a little. Thank you. And I realize that I'm breaking the fourth wall of education by admitting that I have challenging issues in my life. And yes, I have made some mistakes. I keep thinking of the specific students that I took the wrong approach with, that I sometimes took out my tired, hungry, or frustrated feelings out on, and I'm aware that they will remember these moments, because I remember every time an adult took his or her stuff out on me. As a victim of domestic violence, I have PTSD, which causes me to feel extremely uncomfortable with uncontrolled chaos. My history of concussions and a traumatic brain injury does not help me with my overwhelming need for a calm environment. I like this cartoon. One of the most humbling lessons I learned as a teacher was that my need to control chaos was negatively impacting my students. I had more intense escalations in my classroom than anywhere else in the school, and it was time to figure it out. I made it my growth goal, and with the help of workshops and therapy and a lot of patient help from my coworkers and students, I learned that my quick switch from a coaching style to a more authoritative approach when students were escalating was causing blowups. I had to learn how to breathe through the chaos and teach and model for my students how it is only possible to have meaningful and connecting conversations when we let our lizard brains cool off, and that my defensiveness had to go. Learning about intention versus impact was a game changer for me. I really like to fix interpersonal misunderstandings right away, so I also had to work on my patience. The benefits have been worth the work. All the members of my classroom community can now retain more dignity. Conflict is now an opportunity to know each other better, and the overall environment is calmer because there's more consistency and more trust. All of this means everyone can be a whole lot more productive. I know that authentic relationships can only be built if we're curious instead of judgmental, and if we share our authentic selves with our students. These are the last two of some of our graduating classes from Takata. Almost all conflict is a result of violated expectations. So providing clarity before accountability is more effective and more fair, but it has to be a two-way street. We also need to understand and honor the expectations of our students. They often act out because they're not getting a need met or they feel like their feelings don't matter. If we have authentic relationships with students, they will communicate what they need in healthier ways. When they feel honored, seen, and like they matter, they can tell us their feelings before escalations occur. But I'm not just squishy. I also believe in compassionate accountability, in creating dynamic containers with students. And container walls can be different for each student on different days depending on what they need. Kids feel the safest and calmest and are the most productive when they know where the boundaries are, that they feel respected, and that they're taught and encouraged to not only identify their feelings and needs, but also how to communicate them. My students have taught me the most about how to be a good teacher. They know what they need, and it's different for every student. I believe in the special education mantra that our job is not to teach, our job is to help students learn. And we need their help to make this happen. I won't pretend this isn't painful and exposing and terrifying. For those of you who have been doing this work, you know that sometimes it hurts. But every ounce of work we put into ourselves positively impacts our relationships with others. It's impossible to find out what our students need if they are disconnected and distrustful. And how will we achieve equity if we are not finding out what every student needs? Please consider having empathy for yourselves and for others when things aren't perfect. Our jobs are not easy. We need each other, and we all deserve to feel seen and heard. And our students benefit when we work together, not just on their curriculum, but on how to become better human beings. And it is up to us to create environments that make it safe to be imperfect. Every kid matters. Every educator matters. Every heart matters. And we need each other to make all of this work. Thank you.
Thank you, Kelly, and I think she controlled the chaos of the computer very well. What do you think? That worked out very well. As we close this morning, I want to again say a big thank you to the North Hennepin Area Chamber of Commerce. How about a big hand for Steve and Bonnie, the staff behind this event? And throughout the morning, you have noted our sponsors that have put this event together. You see them on the sign to the side and here in front of us as well. Rich, thank you very much for Boston Scientific. Some of the other sponsors, gold sponsor Klein Bank. The silver sponsors, as you see on the sign, Ace Solid Waste, Diversified Plastics Inc., Device Pit Stop, Fast Signs, Hennepin Technical College, Henningsen and Snoxel, and Service Master. Let's give them all a big hand. And on behalf of the North Hennepin Area Chamber of Commerce and CCX Media, my pleasure to be here today. Congratulations on your work in the world of education. Best of luck in your new environment. I understand some of the Osseo teachers are going to stay here, so keep your seats. Kim, on my right here, that they should sit tight for a second. Talk amongst yourselves for a few minutes. Someone from the district will be up here to give you more directions. Thank you for coming. Have a great day.